My name is Michael, and it was through the introduction of a mutual friend that I first met my wife, Amanda. From the start, she exuded cheerfulness and sociability, and we immediately clicked. Our initial outings for meals quickly blossomed into something more, and before long, I found myself developing strong feelings for her. After 2 years of dating, we both began contemplating marriage. Living together seemed like the natural progression, and the following year, we officially tied the knot in a grand wedding ceremony. Surrounded by our closest friends, the day felt like a once-in-a-lifetime celebration. Our friends even added their own entertaining acts, making the occasion truly memorable. Married life was a blissful journey. While we both juggled our jobs, Amanda's demanding work often meant she arrived home earlier than me, dutifully preparing delicious meals for us. Her consideration for my love of meat led to her cooking meat dishes 3 times a week, ensuring a balanced diet. Each homemade meal felt like a blessing, and I cherished having her as my partner. However, almost 3 years into our marriage, I began to notice a shift in Amanda's behavior. She stopped cooking dinner and started going out after work, leaving me alone at home with frozen meals or supermarket dishes. The change left me feeling somewhat isolated, but I attributed it to our busy schedules and didn't delve into her feelings enough. After enduring this routine for about 2 months, I realized I needed to address the situation. With work finally calming down, I took some paid leave and planned a getaway to a hot spring with Amanda, determined to reconnect and mend whatever rift had formed between us. When I entered the house, I found Amanda lying on the sofa engrossed in a fashion magazine. Her lack of acknowledgement upon my arrival struck me as unusual. "Hey, Amanda," I began breaking the silence. "I've scheduled some time off work for us the week after next. How about we go to a hot spring and unwind together?" Without glancing up from the magazine, Amanda replied, "No, I'm not interested." Her response caught me off guard, leaving me momentarily speechless. I had meticulously researched accommodations and nearby restaurants, intending to present her with a thoughtfully planned getaway. "I've been so caught up with work lately that I haven't been able to give you much attention," I explained. "I thought some time away together would help us reconnect. I assumed you might be feeling lonely too." Despite my efforts to bridge the gap between us, Amanda remained indifferent. "It's fine as it is," she remarked, still fixated on the magazine. "I have plenty to occupy myself with when you're not around. Don't worry about it." Her dismissive attitude left me puzzled and disheartened. That night, I struggled to sleep, weighed down by uncertainty and unease. The following morning, the tension between us lingered as I left for work. Unable to shake off my concerns, I confided in a coworker during lunch. "Hey, can I talk to you for a moment?" I asked hesitantly. "It's not exactly a fight, but something happened with my wife yesterday." As I recounted the previous day's exchange, my coworker offered a blunt suggestion. "Could she be cheating on you? I mean, you don't have any other clear reasons, right?" I racked my brain, unable to conjure any other explanation for Amanda's sudden aloofness besides the ominous word, cheating. It reverberated in my mind, a weighty echo I never thought I'd associate with her. But once the seed of doubt was planted by someone else, suspicion flourished and my health began to falter under its oppressive weight. That day at work was a blur, my mind consumed by thoughts of betrayal. Unable to concentrate, I made the decision to leave early. Upon arriving home, I bypassed changing into comfortable clothes, shedding only my suit jacket before collapsing onto the bed, mentally and physically exhausted. With some time to spare before Amanda's return, I drifted into a fitful slumber, seeking solace in the cool, dimly lit room. My restless sleep was abruptly interrupted by the unmistakable sound of laughter and multiple voices entering the house, followed by the distinct sound of Amanda's voice. Initially, I assumed she had returned home. However, the presence of an unfamiliar male voice shattered that illusion, intensifying my suspicions. As footsteps approached the bedroom, my heart raced with apprehension. My fears were confirmed when Amanda entered the room, her expression momentarily betraying surprise at finding me there. Her subsequent words dripped with mockery as she questioned my presence. "Oh, Michael, what are you doing here?" she taunted, her tongue dripping with disdain. "I thought you were supposed to be at work." I faltered, my stomach churning with a sickening mix of dread and betrayal. I decided to take a paid day off, needing some time to process everything. Amanda's response was indifferent, her gaze shifting to the tall man standing beside her, his arm casually draped over her shoulder. "You went out," she stated, devoid of any concern for my well-being. I wanted to demand the man remove his arm from my wife's shoulder, but waves of nausea and a pounding headache left me speechless. All I managed to muster was a weak, "Well, you already know." Amanda cut me off with a brazen admission, her defiance palpable as she crossed her arms and stood her ground. "It's true," she declared, her tone unapologetic. "I'm cheating on you with this guy, and it's your fault. So no apologies from me." Her confession hit me like a freight train, leaving me reeling and utterly bewildered. Before I could gather my thoughts, she continued, dismissing my shock with a wave of her hand. "Stop looking like that," she scolded. "You've neglected me for so long. Scott treats me like a woman, and being with him fills the void in my heart. He's always up to date with the latest trends, being the president of his own company. Plus, he's fun and exciting." As Amanda praised the man, I finally recognized his face. It all fell into place when she mentioned his position as a company president. He was the head of XYZ Company, a client I had been working closely with. His meteoric rise in the industry, starting his business in his 20s, had made him a notable figure. I recalled our interactions during business meetings and exchanging business cards, never imagining that he would become a central figure in this devastating revelation. "Why?" I asked Amanda, my voice trembling with disbelief. "Like I said before, that's why," she replied nonchalantly, her tone devoid of remorse. "But I'm fine with getting a divorce." The word divorce hung heavy in the air, igniting a desperate urge within me to halt Amanda's departure. Yet as she moved to leave the room with Scott, I struggled to find the words to stop her. "Are you really okay with ending our marriage so easily?" I implored, my heart aching with the weight of impending loss. But Amanda brushed off my concerns with a dismissive wave. "It doesn't matter anymore," she declared, making a move to exit with Scott in tow. "I'll ensure Amanda's happiness, so don't worry," Scott interjected, flashing me a disarming smile before following Amanda out of the room. Left alone, I grappled with the reality of impending divorce, a bitter pill to swallow. In the aftermath, I finalized the divorce proceedings and received alimony. However, the emotional toll of the betrayal left me mentally shattered, necessitating a leave of absence from work to focus on my recovery. The root of Amanda's infidelity became clear during this period of introspection. My relentless dedication to my job had left her feeling neglected, driving her to seek solace in the company of others. Amanda's outgoing nature and ease in forging connections led her to cross paths with Scott at bars, where their bond quickly deepened. During my hiatus from work, a colleague informed me that Scott's company, a former client, had relocated its headquarters from New York. This revelation brought a sense of closure, knowing that I would no longer have to face the painful reminder of Amanda's betrayal in a professional context. In the years that followed, I gradually reclaimed my mental well-being. By a stroke of serendipity, I found love once again and made the decision to remarry, embracing the hope of a brighter future. I had made the decision to change jobs and relocate to a rural area, seeking a more tranquil lifestyle surrounded by abundant nature compared to the hustle and bustle of the city. Married life in this serene setting seemed to suit me well, and I was content, living a peaceful existence. However, tranquility was disrupted when, on a day off, a police officer called out my name, halting me in my tracks. Confused and unaware of any wrongdoing, I followed my instincts and made my way to the police station. Upon entering the station and being ushered into a room, I was met with an unexpected sight: my ex-wife, Amanda, waiting for me. Before I could process the situation, Amanda launched into a tirade, accusing me of stalking her with an unsettling level of excitement. Bewildered by her accusations, I attempted to reason with her, but she persisted, refusing to acknowledge my side of the story. My confusion only deepened when a police officer brought in another individual, Scott. With a bitter twist of irony, Scott joined in, questioning my motives and insinuating lingering feelings for Amanda despite years having passed since our divorce. His words stung, a painful reminder of the tumultuous end to our marriage, a wound still raw, even after all this time. I requested an explanation from the police officer who had brought Scott into the room. It transpired that Amanda had been enduring the torment of a stalker for an extended period, and in her distress, she had mistaken the stalker's resemblance to me and reported me to the authorities. The police, upon discovering my recent move to the town, had called me in for questioning. While I comprehended the gravity of the situation, Amanda's dismissive attitude only fueled my frustration. However, the police officer intervened, urging me to remain calm and suggesting that I provide evidence to support my innocence. Determined to clear my name, I arranged for someone to accompany me to the police station. Within minutes, the chosen individual arrived, prompting a startled reaction from Scott. "Elizabeth," he exclaimed, his surprise palpable. "Hi, big brother. It's been a while," she greeted warmly, revealing her connection to Scott as his sister. In a twist of fate, I had remarried Elizabeth, Scott's sister. Scott and Amanda, unaware of this revelation, appeared visibly flustered. As the truth unfolded, it emerged that Scott's infidelity with Amanda had been discovered by their parents, who subsequently distanced themselves from him. His parents, prominent figures in a company with numerous business ventures, chose to support me upon learning of their son's wrongdoing. Initially hesitant to face the family of Amanda's lover, I found solace and understanding in their company as we spent time together, my heart gradually finding peace amidst the turmoil. I found love once again, this time with Elizabeth, Scott's sister, and we eventually tied the knot. Scott's reaction was one of disbelief and outrage. "Are you kidding me?" he erupted, his voice laced with anger. "I haven't heard anything about this." Elizabeth, accustomed to her brother's temperament, countered his outburst calmly. "Well, I had a duty to inform someone who no longer considers us family. Besides, during the time you claimed Michael's ex-wife was being stalked, he was actually having dinner with me at the hotel's restaurant. You should be able to find our names on the reservation list, and if you ask the waiter who served us wine, he should be able to confirm it." With Elizabeth's testimony, I was finally exonerated of all charges. As we left the police station, grateful for Elizabeth's support, Amanda and Scott confronted us, their intentions clear. "Wait a minute," Scott interjected, grabbing Elizabeth's shoulder. "Did you really marry this guy? He failed in a city and ended up in a rural area. You'll regret it if you marry someone like him." Amanda chimed in, echoing Scott's sentiments. "That's right, he neglected me a lot when we were married too." It was evident that they were determined to cast a shadow over our happiness. However, Elizabeth remained steadfast, shaking off Scott's hand from her shoulder. Just then, a luxury car pulled up in front of the police station, and Scott's expression shifted to one of surprise. "Oh, Dad," he exclaimed, realizing who had arrived. Scott's father stepped out of the car, his demeanor stern as he addressed his son. "I have no reason to be called Dad by you," Scott's father retorted sternly, addressing his son's disrespectful behavior toward Elizabeth and me. "More importantly, it seems you have been quite rude to my daughter and son-in-law." Scott shrugged dismissively. "Well, can't be helped, can it? Are you really okay with Elizabeth marrying this loser?" His father's expression hardened. "What's with your attitude toward the heir to my company? If anyone's a loser here, it's you. Your business only succeeded because of good luck, and you've been acting all high and mighty without even understanding proper management. You have no right to badmouth Michael. Indeed, I had relocated to this town to study as a successor in my father-in-law's business, having changed jobs to a group company based in this area." As the truth sank in, Scott's confidence wavered, his shoulders drooping in defeat. Meanwhile, Amanda attempted to salvage the situation, but her efforts fell short in the face of the undeniable facts. "What does this mean?" Scott finally managed to utter, his voice strained with uncertainty. "You said you'd inherit the company," Elizabeth reminded him, her tone tinged with disappointment. "Scott's company is doing well, right?" However, the truth soon emerged. Scott's company was on the verge of bankruptcy, and considering his extravagant spending, he was likely in debt as well. Scott fell silent, the weight of reality settling heavily upon him as his father's words rang true. Elizabeth delivered the final blow, highlighting his empty promises to make Amanda happy and questioning his judgment. With the truth exposed, the suspicion of stalking against my ex-wife was cleared. In the aftermath, Scott's company collapsed and Amanda parted ways with him. Meanwhile, I found myself liberated from the curse of Amanda and Scott, living a contented life with Elizabeth.